He's Hunter.
And he's Andrew.
And we're good boys. So, Hunter, last we spoke, we decided that we were going to come up with a couple of trailers for the show. And
Not trailers for this show.
No, there wouldn't be much material.
No, well, we don't believe in advertising. It would degrade our material.
For sure, it would make it into more of a product than a passion product.
Commercials for the Mona Lisa, it's beneath us.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So movie trailers. We each came up with 3. I have no particular order to the list I'm going to present. I don't believe you do either.
No particular order, so we can just shoot them out. I just want to say before we get started, in the interest of all honesty, in the previous episode, I did misspeak. I incorrectly said that Christine was my favorite John Carpenter film, when I completely forgot that John Carpenter also directed Big Trouble in Little China, which is my favorite John Carpenter film. So I just wanted to clear the air on that, and I hope that in the future I can earn back the trust of our listeners.
Yeah, maybe sometime they'll I'm hoping they get over it. I mean, I think you're a trustworthy guy, but everybody makes mistakes, and I'm prepared to forgive it. But we'll see what the listeners think. Yeah, anytime. Okay, so we'll get kicking off here with trailers. So, Hunter, you want to go ahead?
Sure. So I picked honestly, what I discovered by looking at trailers and picking them, I really just like music videos. That really is just the trend of, if you can have a trailer for any movie and sync it up to a song, I'm going to be pretty happy.
I feel the same way. So I was thinking about this, and I'm like, man, Marvel movies have such awesome trailers for that exact reason. I was like, the Ragnarok trailer, the Immigrant Song is an awesome song, and it's just really, really cool. So yeah, I definitely feel that.
Somewhere we diverge, though, because we did share our answers with each other before this. I had to pick trailers from the past 5 to 10 years. For me to really like a trailer, it has to be something that I saw before the movie and that got me interested. So my first one, and I'll preempt this by saying the trailers have nothing to do with the films themselves, but I will say my first one is the trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. I did not grow up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've seen neither of the movies. I didn't see this movie, but this trailer makes me so happy to watch.
Is it because it's a music video?
It's because it's a music video. When the turtles show up in their giant garbage truck thing, and the song kicks in, today is my recital, and it just starts going, and then it's got Megan Fox timing her, pulling up her shirt and tying it to the song, and it's so great. At the end, when you have a humanoid rhinoceros in a tank just firing at them, but his fist pump just goes to the drum beat. I'm like, this is fucking great. I love this.
It is pretty cool.
I watched the trailer 24 times when it came out and never saw the movie.
Do you know who the rhinoceros is?
The characters are Bebop and Steady.
Bebop and Rocksteady. I don't know which is which. So yeah, I wasn't a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan really either. The animated ones, the VHSs though, they were super consumable as a kid. That was one of those things that you could just put in there and it's like, yeah, that'll keep the kid occupied for a little while. So
I know it's so popular with so many people. Literally, I guess you could say the lore of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but the only property I've ever seen is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Meet Batman. Good movie, I gotta say. But besides that, I've never watched the show, a movie, anything with them.
Is that where the meme of Batman saying, "These are where my parents died, Raphael," and him saying "Bummer Man" or whatever? Is that what that's from? Have you seen that?
I have seen it. I don't think it's from. I mean, that's definitely not a line in the movie.
Well, this
there is
is
a line in the movie where Batman first fights them because they don't know each other and they don't know they're both good guys, and then they flee, and Batman is just standing in this alleyway having just fought these things, and he's like, mutant teenage ninja turtles, like just questioning himself.
he goes out of order too. That makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the. Have you seen the comic strip?
There's a comic strip.
Well, there's just I don't know. There's a meme that's Batman saying these are where my parents died, Raphael, and him being like, "Oh, bummer, dude,"
I
or
think that's just
something
a
like
meme,
that.
unrelated.
Yeah. Well, it fits. So, you know, I saw that for the first time when you mentioned that it was going to be on your list, and I hate to be that way, man, but it's just like an action movie trailer to me. I don't feel anything really cool with it, unfortunately.
Well, it's coincidental that I feel the exact same opinion to one of your choices.
Well, that's fine. And I bet you I know which one it is. And I am
I bet you do too.
okay. So, sticking in the same vein, we'll do another superhero movie. Logan, the trailer for Logan. Is that the one that you
No.
felt that way about? Ugh. Well, then I don't even know. So, with Logan, I have. You'll see this as a common thread in, I guess, two of the trailers I picked, but I really like trailers for movies that include characters that I'm familiar with. Um, in the Logan trailer, it really reminded me of, especially towards like the tail end of the trailer, and you sort of see that there's going to be a kind of protector role that Logan takes on X-23, and it reminds me of X-Men, the first X-Men movie, his relationship with Rogue a little bit, and I like that a lot. It's cool seeing a Wolverine that's been just beaten down and his healing factor is starting to go, and he's just like an old grizzled guy. You see that Professor X isn't like this imposing telepath that he is in every other property. He still has all of the power, but he's like just a feeble old guy at this point, even more so than the feeble old guy that he was. And then to top it all off, back to the music video things, Hurt, the Johnny Cash version of Hurt, you're like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. That fits. It's thematic. It's the trailer. It's action packed. I really enjoy Logan.
I thought it was a fine trailer. I liked it for the same reasons I liked the movie, and I guess you could say it's a good trailer in that regard because it shows you what's going to be in the movie. I loved Logan. We actually saw that together. Now that I remember it,
We did, yeah.
So, but I didn't think it was anything particularly worthwhile beyond this is a suitable trailer. That's that's good. But I will say, I actually recall a different Logan trailer than the one you chose, where I just remember in the trailer, they include the line from Professor X saying, "She's just like you, Logan." But in the trailer I'm thinking of, it shows her with the claw, the little girl, the claws coming out of her hand, and Ryan Gosling going, "No, no, 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 no."
Oh yeah, the bone claws. I remember that trailer too. I don't know. Was that a teaser or was that a full
I
blown
think it might have
trailer?
been I think it might have been the second trailer. You chose the
Okay.
first trailer.
Yep. I chose the first trailer on that one.
So that's really only my comment with that. I agree it's good. I would have selected the second one because I find that funny. Although, it is what it is.
Oh, another little just side topic. It's related to trailers. I didn't know what the technical difference between a teaser and a trailer was. And I was like, let me see like what the actual definition
I couldn't give you like a formal definition. Yeah.
What it is a trailer is whenever a movie has been completed its final edits, and a teaser is when they're still in shooting and they can be in some other stage of production. The property's not done yet. Okay. So that's the
so
technical difference that I found.
It could be done shooting. They just haven't finished rendering it or doing all the extra stuff.
Putting all the pieces together, editing, I guess picking which takes of which scenes they were going with, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a fun one. Actually, the Thor trailer that I mentioned earlier isn't actually a trailer; it's technically a teaser. So I don't think that it practically makes much of a difference, though.
Well, speaking of teasers, my next choice is actually Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the teaser trailer. And I chose it for the trailer itself is better than the teaser. It gives you a better idea of the movie. Whereas the half of the teaser is just a clip of the movie and a boring one at that. But there's a moment in that teaser where they're playing the music over it, and Leonardo DiCaprio's character is dancing with a bunch of girls on a set stage, and he just gives a look at the camera as he's dancing. He's like, I must have rewound and watched him do that 1 to 2 second little dance and just look into the camera. I watched that probably 30 times at least within the first 24 hours it came out. I'm like, that is such an impeccable moment. I don't care about the rest of the teaser. It has nothing to do with the movie. Again, it is 1 second of Leonardo DiCaprio doing that dance move with the music. And I'm like, I love that. That is my second choice.
Just because of that?
Just because of that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have it. That's definitely funny. So that's good on you.
How do you not love that?
Yeah, that's fair. I like how much of a douche they make Bruce Lee look. I think that's hilarious. And the scene where he's fighting Brad Pitt's character.
Yeah, the family complained a lot about that. I have a lot of problems with the movie itself, but
goddamn, I haven't watched the movie yet.
Really?
Yep, I've yet to watch it. It keeps just getting pushed back to the list. Just because it's a long watch, so I haven't.
Oh, it is a very long watch.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to it, but yeah, I saw Tarantino was like, yeah, I really don't care. This is what everybody says that he was this way, so this is how I'm portraying him.
Well, he defended it in the context of the movie, within the context of the scene, and I won't go into too much depth since you haven't seen it, just to say that the way Tarantino tried to justify it is within the scene, Bruce Lee, if you had given the scene more time, would have performed better. And that there's a reason that he lost in that moment within the movie that makes sense as it's presented with these characters. I know that is extremely cryptic, but I can't go into more detail without explaining the scene itself.
That sounds like him just trying to be like, yeah, I don't really care. Here's the justification. Do with it what you will.
Perhaps.
And I think that's totally fine. But also, I can imagine if I was Bruce Lee's family and a dead relative was being portrayed in such a negative way.
I have a lot more issue with how they did the Sharon Tate murders than how they did Bruce Lee. Like, that's my issue. So that's not even, there's a lot of problems with how they portray dead people in this movie.
Yeah, I don't think he cares too much. But yeah, I'll have to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That actually might be something worth diving deeper in the future is Quentin Tarantino stuff, because there's enough now where you can pick several.
Yeah. Is that the only one you haven't seen? I've seen every Tarantino film at this point.
That's the only one I haven't seen. So, do you know if he's in the works for another one? Because didn't he always say 9?
He always said 9. I don't know if there's another one. I know people are still talking about, is there going to be a Kill Bill Volume 3 with the requisite time jump? That's been talked about. I don't know if there's anything official about that, though.
I heard talks about that too, and I'm not a huge Kill Bill fan, so.
I loved the first one. I didn't like Volume 2.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the whole property. The first one I definitely think's better, but yeah, it's not the most exciting to me. Well, no, that's not exciting's wrong. It is definitely exciting, but I don't really enjoy it that much. So we'll go in with my second choice. Again, no particular order to these, is Alien. And I did not, until I started looking into just like trailers as a whole, because I was like, yeah, I'll pick some recent stuff that just comes to mind. And then I started looking at things that other people just say are more iconic, right? watched the Alien trailer. I've never seen the trailer before. I watched it, and I get why it ends up like in the top 10 in so many lists. It's great. The visuals are stunning. The way at the beginning of the trailer, it gives you a feeling of dread. Things feel so you pan over a barren moon like landscape. You see the eggs starting to crack, and the music's really ominous, and it's just the sound effect that all that makes you feel dread. You see people sort of working their way through tight corridors. You see a visual of those pods opening up. It makes you feel very claustrophobic while that's all happening. And then all the action starts happening. It just becomes a terror on screen, cuts from a bunch of different scenes that are just raw action, all the sound that goes with those scenes. So you have all this dread build up. The trailer's odd. It sort of, to me, does the same thing emotionally that a jump scare in a horror movie does. And I don't like that very much, but the way that the trailer does it, it's not a series of jump scares. It's one thing. And it makes your heart rate do what a jump scare does, but it's not necessarily scary, but it sort of emotionally does the same thing. And then just at the end, in space, no one can hear you scream. It's like, yeah, that's super cool, very iconic. I can see if I was a viewer in 1979 where this would definitely get me to the theaters.
I agree with you. I slightly disagree about the description of a jump scare because I agree with what you said more previously, that it's a slow build of dread, not something that's just but it's each scene, even though it is a brief moment of action or terror combined, it is building itself. And that is actually my favorite part of the trailer, what you just said at the very ending, where you get the crescendo of dread and horror that all of this combined has presented to you, and then it just cuts to silence with the description, "In space, no one can hear you scream." I think that's incredibly well done. I agree with you. This would probably be rated as one of the greatest trailers ever made on any sort of objective list. I don't really have anything more to add. I might like the trailer more than like the movie.
Have you seen Alien?
I've seen Alien. I have not seen Aliens, which I know everyone says is much better.
Yeah.
I didn't hate Alien. I just thought honestly, my biggest problem with Alien, I think the design is stupid. I don't like the alien.
Oh, you don't like xenomorphs?
No, it looks dumb.
Oh, well, I will disagree with
It
that.
doesn't look like a real creature. It's too bulky. Like it's supposed to be this perfect killing machine, but I don't see it.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree on that. I think it looks like a predator, and I think first and foremost the
No,
movie's
no, no. Wait, a predator or the predator?
a predator,
Okay.
not the predator.
Well, the design on the predator is so much better.
The design, but the predator isn't a like a beast.
No, but it looks like what it's supposed to look like. The xenomorph or whatever the hell it is doesn't look like a perfect killing machine.
You don't like the little mouth inside of its bigger mouth?
No.
Well, fine.
It's a great trailer.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
You're gonna feel even more sorry when we get to your last one.
I know, and I've started to put together your earlier comments. You have to be talking about my last one, but let's move on to your last one.
My last one, I broke the rules a little because you're a piece of shit and broke the rules in the last episode when we were making a list. My last one is a trailer for a TV show. It is the Jurassic Park trailer for the Animaniacs reboot, where they take the scene from the original Jurassic Park where Dr. Grant and Dr. Sadler first see the Apatosaurus or Brontosaurus or whatever it is. They're in the Jeep and they first see it. And they do a perfect parody to introduce the return of Animaniacs, where they have Steven Spielberg there playing. Do you recall the character's name?
Oh, Doctor.
No, it's not a doctor. It's
No,
the
not
donor.
doctor.
The,
He spared no expense.
yes, he's very
Oh, I can't remember his name.
All right, well, they have Steven Spielberg, their team, in that role. They have a guy in a green suit with Hulu all over him who looks exactly like the blood-sucking lawyer. And he just says, we're going to make a fortune off this show. Just like he did in the original movie. And it's like when Steven Spielberg says, well, I reanimated them. And we have Pinky in the Brain. You reanimated Pinky in the Brain? I reanimated Pinky in the Brain. It is so perfect. It makes me giddy. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, it would have never ended up on my list because it's a advertisement for a TV show.
A TV show children's cartoon.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it being a children's cartoon, but I mean, I wouldn't have broken the rules and picked a TV show one. But I mean, it's your prerogative.
Well, I wanted to pick the best of the best, and that required bending the rules.
That's fair. Yeah, I like it too. My favorite part, because that when you showed me that, I have not. It was my first time seeing it, and my favorite part of that is when you see the shadow and it's the brontosaurus or whatever coming over the hill, and then it just turns into the Animaniacs. I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's really good. I'm very happy with that, and it's interesting because it's not a trailer of the show. It doesn't show any of the show. They animated this clip as the introduction, where all new content. None of that will be, it's not clips of the movie or show put together. So that's also interesting.
Yeah, it's very much an advertisement.
Yeah,
but it is exciting. Have you
clever,
watched?
So clever.
Have you watched any of the new animations of Pinky and the Brain or Animaniacs?
I think I watched the first half of the season 1.
I haven't watched any of it yet. Is it?
Pinky and the Brain is good, but not as good as the originals. And Animaniacs is fine. There are a couple really good jokes. I didn't grow up on Animaniacs. I really didn't watch that growing up. I watched a lot of Pinky and the Brain growing up, but not Animaniacs. I did grow up on Wacko's Wish, great movie.
I've never even heard of that, but I watched a lot of Pinky and the Brain growing up too. Not much Animaniacs. It's kind of the same way. So to move into my last choice, I picked the trailer for Terminator 2, and I'll give some backstory. So I obviously was not around to see the original trailer for Terminator 2. However, growing up, my dad and I watched the first Terminator movie together. I remember that being like probably a 10-year-old kid, 9-year-old kid watching the first Terminator with my dad. And, Arnold's the bad guy in it. And then I remember watching the second Terminator then with my dad and not knowing that Arnold was actually the good guy in this one. So I remember being a 11-year-old kid and having the experience that viewers, whenever the trailer initially came out, would have had. For people that don't know, in the trailer, it's very ambiguous who the bad Terminator is. The scene where John Connor is running in the mall and Arnold comes around the corner and says, "Get down," and shoots behind him. That's sort of where you start putting it together. But I felt like I had the same experience that the original people watching the show whenever it first came out would have had. So that's why it ended up on the list. Also, as far as sci-fi movies go, T2 is one of the best sci-fi movies of all time, in my opinion.
I thought this trailer was lame as hell. Oh my god. It comes in and it's like, they tried to kill Sarah Connor. Now they're trying to kill her son, John Connor. Remember when there was one Terminator? Now there's two Terminators. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I hate to even call it a parody of 80s action flicks because that actually sounds cooler than it actually is. I just thought it was incredibly lame, had nothing particularly interesting in it. and I say this as someone who has not seen any of the Terminator movies, so it does not click any kind of nostalgia with me. I thought it was just dumb.
So
To be perfectly frank.
that's fine. I think its main goal was to subvert expectations while getting interest in the movie.
But as you said yourself, it's very ambiguous in the trailer whether Arnold is a good guy or bad guy.
But it's ambiguous in the trailer. However, in the previous one, he was the bad guy, and there's no indication that he'll be anything but the bad guy. The other Terminator also is a police officer the whole time. So while it's ambiguous, you are assuming that the one that got sent back to help save John Connor is the guy that's going around like a policeman. Also, there's a scene where Arnold's tearing apart police helicopters and cars with a minigun. So I think it does its job in subverting expectations. And I think if I was around in, what was that, like 1990 maybe? I don't know when it came out, but 1990, it would have done the job for me and would have done it really well. And I would have been genuinely surprised in the theater.
Everything I have heard from other people says Terminator 2 is a perfect 80s action sci-fi movie. And I've always believed that, even though I've never seen it. But this trailer genuinely made me less interested to see the movie.
Well, that's fine. It wasn't made for you. Moving on. Okay. So, Hunter, you recently, moved into a new place, right?
I did.
And we were talking about home decor, right?
As we usually do.
Yeah, as we do. So I bitching to you about the home.
This could be about any topic.
Yeah, yeah. Recently I've had an issue with Katie's lamps that she put in front of my fucking TV in my living room. So mounted
I'm
TV.
a first critic of lamps as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're very insightful. A lot of lamp knowledge. But I have my TV mounted in my living room. You've seen it, right? And then just a little entertainment stand underneath, PlayStation, and then a couple cabinets on either side. Has a fireplace in it, whatever. So she got a pair of lamps from Hobby Lobby that sit on either side of the entertainment stand and extend past my TV about an inch and a half. So anytime anything's happening at the bottom of the screen, you just see this stupid fucking lamp in front of the TV. So recently I've had it out on, for silly home decor. And you said like, oh, I'm the best home decorator around.
I never played that.
That's what I heard.
Words in my mouth.
I did. I would never put anything in your mouth, but I'm the best home decorator around. Do you want to see some of my my home decor? And I do have to say, while every little bit of me wants to be harsh about everything you do and hypercritical about everything you do, I think that I have actually good criticisms the whole way through this. So, Hunter, in the order in which you sent these to me, do you want me to start with the decor above your TV or the decor that's just sitting on your floor?
We can do either, whichever you prefer.
Okay, we'll start from the order you sent me. So, this picture of this appears to be a ticket, either a carnival ticket or an old-timey movie ticket. What do you think? Probably an old-timey movie ticket, right?
No, I put a carnival ticket above my television.
I don't know if you just like the party, man. Okay, so an old-timey movie ticket.
Which, like Katie, I bought from Hobby Lobby.
Slow down. You bought everything on this list from Hobby Lobby.
No, not everything. I want to say half. Wait, no, maybe less than half.
Really?
No, only 2 out of the 6 things. 1/3.
33% of things. Did you take advantage of the 40% off
I
coupon
did.
on both of those things?
Yes.
Best deal at any store, right?
I bought this ticket and then brought it back to get the money back.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good move. So the admit one ticket. I rated all these on a out of 10 scale. So I'm going to give this one because of placement above your television and because it's a movie ticket. I think it's fitting. I'm going to give that one an 8.1 out of 10. So that's a good piece of home decor. It doesn't get in anybody's way. It's has meaning with being, right above the TV. So 8.1 out of 10 on that one.
I appreciate that. I was worried about it looking a little tacky and perhaps drawing the eye away from the television. But I gotta say, the way the wall is formatted, that it goes back, it is almost something has to be there. And I feel this is a lot less distracting than most other things. And as you said, it's very relevant to the television. It's a little bit fun. It's kind of old timey. I was very happy with that selection and the placement.
Yeah, the little recess in the wall does make something. Something does have to live
It
back
would
there.
look odder if there was nothing in the recess.
It would. The only other thing that you could do in the recess is you could mount the TV in the recess, but then you have to get a smaller TV. Well, okay, yeah, I guess you can't mount the TV in the recess, so it's a perfect place for a movie ticket picture. Do you have a little, or do you have any plans on getting a little popcorn machine to sit there? Because that could be pretty cool.
I don't eat popcorn enough to justify owning a whole thing.
Yeah, you don't actually use the popcorn machine. That'd be
Then I
so
won't buy
odd.
it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty utilitarian in most of my
you're utilitarian. Yeah. We'll see when we work our way through this list. Yeah. We can talk about all the utility. What's that? Picture number 4 ads. So next we have the farmhouse kitchen, open daily. Please seat yourself now. Serving sign right above.
I think that's adorable.
Right? Yeah, I'm reviewing the home decor, but I agree it is adorable. It's fantastic. I think it fits perfectly where you have it. I think you have it mounted at the appropriate height in the kitchen.
I measured it.
Did you? That's impressive.
I climbed up on the counter and measured it. Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah, good. I really like that. This though reminds me of something that my fiance would hang in our kitchen, and that's a little bit odd. You guys are on the same wavelength with a lot of your taste, but it's okay.
I don't know how anyone can look at it and not think it's absolutely perfect. The fact that, it looks like it was there when I moved in. The fact that there is that giant blank space on the kitchen wall in between the cabinets above the sink, like it needed this exact thing. There's nothing that would work better in that space. And I think it's quite charming. It announces to everyone this is a kitchen in case they didn't know. I think it works.
Yeah, everybody knows it's a kitchen. The only thing that that spot everybody knows was made for a live, laugh, love picture. But I like what you did with it because you know how I feel about live, laugh, love.
Very
I don't
homey.
even. It is very homey. Yeah, and the picture itself is rustic. Looks like it's that nice antique white. I like the font they use. None of the lines in that picture use the same style of font, and I really appreciate that because it's all very different, all works together. So, did I give that your out of 10 score on that one yet?
No, what's the number?
That is an 8.2 out of 10.
Really? Only a little bit better than honestly, I know that's a very good score. Honestly, I can only see that as a 10 out of 10. Really.
I'm sure. Yeah, you measured it yourself. You're gonna be biased. So, an 8.2 out of 10 on the farmhouse kitchen sign. I like it very much, but I want to leave you room on the top end to improve,
I don't think you're going to give me a better score than that, though.
I'm not. Oh, one, you'll have to figure out the math on it, but we'll get there. So next we have the open country store ice cream window, hot buttered popcorn, steamed hot dogs, soda pop, fresh pastry, penny candy, gifts.
Now, do you want some background on this first?
Trapezoid. No, I don't care about the background. I'm gonna get out my piece. So it's shaped like a trapezoid. That's the only thing I appreciate about it. Trapezoid's a great shape. But outside of that, where is that located in your house? Is that your front door next to it?
No, that
or
is
closet door.
That is a door to the bathroom, which is in like a little cubby. So like if you just pass the photo, there's another wall in front of that door. So the sign is, if you go more to the right, there is a closet door and then my front door. So this is like the open pavilion. It's right across the dining room.
Okay, can I ask why it's just sitting on the floor?
Why wouldn't it be?
Because it's meant to be. Otherwise, it's just wasted space on the floor. Why not hang it on a wall?
What am I going to put on the floor there? It is a very heavy, large wooden sign. Look at the height of this.
Yeah, it's probably about 4.5 feet tall.
Thereabout.
Yeah, it would be perfect without even seeing what across that bathroom door looks like. Hanging across from the bathroom door, I can almost guarantee it would be a better spot for that.
No. That is a dark little corner where the light is never on. You wouldn't even see it.
You need people to be able to see it. Well,
people to be able to see it.
Why do you have it sitting on the floor? Why not hang it on the wall?
Why would I go to the trouble to hang a very heavy, large sign when just having it propped up is, I believe, its intention?
Because when you hang it, it makes it look.
This is in an open space that's partially hallway, partially the edge of the dining room. You need something there. Otherwise, I would have a mantle there, something else to do that. Whereas I think this is a much better visual, and it takes up less space.
To me, and again,
it's
maybe
not something I would ever hang anywhere.
Just because
it's ridiculous.
Just because of the context of the photo, and I can't see what the arrangement, the rest of the space looks like. To me, it looks like you just got home from picking that up from somewhere, and you said, "I'm going to sit this here until I'm able to hang it up." That's what its placement looks like to me.
I can see how you could think that, and perhaps it does look like I decided to just place it here. But I don't think anyone can look at this sign and say, "Oh, that's something that should be hanging and not leaning."
Well, I'm team hang. You can be team lean. Also, hot buttered popcorn. How can you justify a hot buttered popcorn sign without a hot buttered popcorn machine?
I'm also not offering people penny candy, fresh pastries, or gifts. So you're saying that have this in good standing, I need to be able to offer all house guests everything on this sign?
When it's not hanging, yes. Because when it's leaning, it's at worst something you just sat coming in the home. At best, it's an advertisement, and I expect to have all those things available to me.
Well, by that logic, if it was hanging, then you could say this is a proper advertisement for some sort of restaurant. Leaning, oh, he's not put in enough effort to actually have these things on hand. I shouldn't expect anything.
Well, do you want my out of 10 score on this one?
Not really, but you'll give it to me anyway.
I'm going to give this one.
Before you give it, maybe it'll score higher. Briefly, the background on this.
Okay.
I had gone through an American Pickers marathon, and I was very interested in having some sort of old signage. So just scanning around on eBay, and I purchased this. I have no way of verifying this, but the eBay listing said this is an original hand-painted sign from the 1950s. The only way I can verify that, I can say it is if you go in very close, it is absolutely hand-painted. And it is on two pieces of very old wood who were just stuck together with a single piece of old wood in the back just hammered in. So I think having that sort of, rustic Americana is very nice. It's a great size. It looks very nice. It is it's so handcrafted that I find it very quaint despite its large size. And it reminds me of American Pickers. And I think it's a very very nice addition to my home. If
So-
that changes your score at all.
So as a work
It's
of
not
art,
something I picked up at Hobby Lobby. This was made. Someone made this.
as a work of art, it's pretty. It definitely served a purpose. Served a purpose. I did have it at a 5 out of 10. I'm going to go ahead, because it's so near and dear to you, I'm going to go ahead and bump it up 2 points because of its meaning and because I can tell how much you love it.
So that's 7 out of 10.
So we'll call that one a 7 out of 10, yes.
I'm happy with that. I'll live with that.
Live with that? Cool, cool. Okay, so next, I have so many mixed emotions here. First of all, was the little green truck purchased at Hobby Lobby?
It was.
Yeah, no shit, it was purchased at Hobby Lobby. It's a little green truck. This, you were talking about being a utilitarian. What do you put in the bed of the little green truck? What does the little green truck being there provide you?
My headphones, a USB drive, other such wires that I need in close proximity.
Do you actually store stuff in the little bed of the truck?
Yes, I didn't even take them out. Like you can't really see them from the angle, but I put stuff in there.
Oh, I do see what looks like an iPhone charging cable back there. Okay, that actually does change my opinion of it a little bit. I'm not a fan of the little green truck. I just think that it's Katie would call it kitschy. I'll call it a little, maybe a little bit kitschy.
I'm fine with that. I would say I found it very, I don't know, cute. I'm not an automotive person, but I found it very nice. I think it goes excellent. Like, the fact that all of these things were purchased separately, the side table, the lamp, and the truck, but they so uniformly go together, I think is very good interior decorating, I gotta say.
I think that your composition in there is very nice. I think that if I were to have a little green truck
You would
on my,
assume this came as a set.
I didn't assume that, just because it's a little green truck and I know you got it from Hobby Lobby. But the end table itself is it's a very nice end table as well. But something that I actually love, that is an awesome end table lamp. That's a great lamp. Where did that come from?
I forget where, someplace up in Penn State.
Okay.
But
Cool.
I agree with you. I'm typically pretty anti-lamp. As someone who lives alone, I can decide whether or not I want the lights on in the room. I don't have to try to negotiate for one at dark, but a little bit of light or whatever. I find lamps, very extraneous. But as soon as I saw these lamps, I'm like, oh, I have to get. There's actually another one in a bedroom, but I'm like, I have to buy both of these. They're very industrial looking, very turn of the century kind of feel. I think it looks very good with some of the other decorations I got going on. I was very, very happy to get it, and it's the first lamp I can genuinely say I've really liked.
Yes, the lamp's my favorite piece here. The lamp for me would actually get a 9 out of 10 on the lamp, but the little green truck. Do you want me to rate these independently or as a group?
I set them together in the same picture because I do consider them a pair. So in fairness, I do think you have to rate them as a pair. Because they are simultaneously the decoration on that end table.
Okay, so I see the truck as a 3 out of 10. I see the lamp as a 9 out of 10.
So 6 out of 10 overall.
Well, I think that the lamp adds more to the little green truck than the little green truck takes away from the lamp.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to say, as a whole piece, we're going to go with a 6.5 out of 10 on that.
I find that acceptable.
You're good with that?
I'm good with that.
Oh, you did another angle of the little green truck. I didn't even take notice. Yeah, it doesn't change. About a 6.5. So, your last piece of decor.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think I stand on this?
Oh, I mean, I sort of hate it, so I think you'd probably hate it.
Do you
Again,
need me
what's
to?
the backstory on this?
I love how you have a backstory for all your home decor. Yeah, kind of now.
The backstory on this is in opposition to my general dislike of all things lamp. My mother is a lamp fanatic. She loves lamps. She loves having them around the house. She loves putting little fake lights in them. She loves having them just around. They don't get turned on. They don't serve a purpose. They are just decor. I disagree with that. She bought me this lamp saying, you can take this with you. I hope you use it. If you don't, I'll give it to your sister or use it myself.
This
And
is
I
a good
said
floor lamp.
and I said for a couple weeks, I don't like this. I'm not going to use it. I decided last minute to take it because at the end of the day, where it is placed, it is in the sunroom in a corner where the rug does not reach. The other corner of the sunroom has my rocking chair and table. And in this corner, I don't yet have anything hanging on the wall above it. I do plan to in the next couple months. But currently, it is just a blank, white, empty little corner. And I think just having this lamp here alone is a much better improvement over having it completely empty. Do I love the lamp? No. Do I totally hate it? Not at this point. I think this is a lamp that is not just decor, it is utilitarian. It serves a purpose to take up space, and that is enough.
Yeah, it does break up the space, but I would appreciate the empty space more personally.
Really?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So my mother actually feels the same way about lamps, and they're like the Hobby Lobby lamps. I bet you that your mom got this at Hobby Lobby.
Good chance, but I can't confirm that.
Yeah. Oh, on a side note, I'll get back to the lamp. I'm actually I'm seeing your mom on Saturday. Did she mention that to you?
She did.
Yeah. She's gonna bake so much stuff. It's gonna be delicious. We're picking out what kinds of cakes and cookies we want for our wedding. I'm very excited for that. But anyway, um, you know how I feel about lamps because of my experience with Katie's two stupid little lamps in front of my TV. My mother has a lamp that sits on her living room floor that ends up just collecting inside of it, I guess, seasonal uh, like seasonal decorations. Like St. Patrick's Day, it gets filled with clovers, shamrocks, whatever. Valentine's Day, stupid little hearts. 4th of July, little American flags, that kind of thing. I think that that a lot of people like lamps. I don't think a lot of people have a reason to like lamps outside of they kind of just operate as a container for other junk.
Well, there should be a light source, but as my previous argument, why you have room lights? I don't know why you need a lamp.
It's for decoration. I think people just like how lamps look, and I'm not one of them. Especially not when it's just sitting in the corner of the room. I give this lamp a solid 2 out of 10.
That's fair. If I was honestly, if I was judging it, I'd do a more 3.54 out of 10, and that's coming from me. But I understand why you say 2.
Okay, I think that's fair. So, do you think that I was fairly objective with my opinions on your home decor?
I wouldn't say objective, but I would say fair.
Well, fairly objective. Objectively fair? Was I objectively fair?
I would say you were objectively fair in your assessment.
That's better. Okay. So, yeah, this was a fun little exercise. I keep my personal spaces. It looks like I look like a 14-year-old boy that came into some money. So that's how I keep my personal spaces. But I'm certainly not as good of a decorator as you are.
Thank you.
Katie does the majority of the decorating around the house, and
Katie's not as good a decorator as I am either.
To be quite frank, she's better than you at decorating. She really is. But I mean, you do a good job. Outside of the little green truck and your floor lamp, I think you do an excellent job.
Thank you.
So,
I'll jump into this. I wanted to share, to wrap things up, I wanted to share with you a couple of little vignettes from my time going to restaurants. I feel like over the years I've built up quite a few stories with myself and waiters or waitresses. They don't, I think, set a pattern or have a trend, but they're just little moments where I'm like, this was unusual or this was somehow memorable. I just have three that came to mind recently, all different time periods. The first one I'll start with. Back when I lived in Washington, D.C., and back when the event took place in Washington, D.C., I was a regular attendee at the Conservative Political Action Committee, CPAC, which took place at National Harbor, Maryland, in the Gaylord Hotel. Hilarious. And the thing about attending CPAC, which they don't really tell you, but you learn very quickly once you start going, food is scarce. This is a very large hotel that only has about one actual restaurant at the bottom location. And when you pack thousands and thousands of attendees for a big event that all get hungry at the same time, that restaurant quickly becomes unavailable. So what happens in this conference is you have to leave the hotel, depart, and go searching nearby restaurants to scavenge for food. Now, at one CPAC several years ago, I went out to eat with my friends Colin and Devin, and it was sort of like a steakhouse kind of cowboy place. They had a mechanical bull inside, and so we go in, we sit, we're looking at the menu, and we meet our waitress, gets our drinks, and then comes back time for us to order food. And we're sitting at a table just over on the second floor, overlooking the edge, so we can see all the tables below. We're on high seats. As we're sitting looking at the menu, the waitress comes, asks for our food, and as she asks, she gets up and sits at the high table with us. So now we have a little foursome of us three and her sitting at the table with us. We were quite taken aback by this very abrasive move. It was quite a thing, and we didn't quite know how to feel about it at the time. But so she's sitting, leaning in, taking notes, and we tell her our orders, and she says, "Okay, thank you." She'll be right out. Gets up, off the table. And I can't emphasize enough. These are high chairs, so she climbs up to join us at the table. That's the other thing. She gets up and leaves, and we all just are looking at each other, trying to decide what just happened. And we sort of decide that we kind of liked it. We kind of liked that she took the initiative to be like, "Oh, I'm just going to sit down with these guys and take their order." And we're like, none of us have ever seen that before. It seems interesting.
It comes off as a very attentive move. Very
attentive, very purposeful, very we were just blown away by it in a good way. That changed by the end of the meal. Because as we were sitting and waiting for our food, the clock ticked by, and it kept ticking. And it was taking quite a while for everything to arrive. And we were wondering, what is taking so long with this? And then we look over, and we can see that she's over there sitting at another group's table, taking their order, chatting. It takes a lot longer to take a person's order when you sit at their table and sort of engage than it just is standing there walking by to quickly take it. And we quickly make the assessment that, oh, she does this to everybody. She's sitting at everyone's table. This is really elongating the process of doing everything because she's becoming so engaged with everyone. So we quickly decided that this move, which we initially liked, this is a problem. This should not become standard practice. And waitresses and waitresses should not sit at your table. It is a recipe for eventual disaster.
So do you think there's a happy medium, though? Do you think
if you only did it to our table, it would be a happy medium. When you do it to all the tables, it's a problem.
So whenever it's just you getting the attentive care of your server, you're happy with it. What about a slight there's no other way to engage more when you're taking an order outside of sitting, because if somebody just leans
one of our laps, no.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, even like to come close to that, because if somebody leaned on your table, you'd be like, "Why the hell is this person leaning on my
Oh,
table?"
lean would be. I would be insulted by a lean. I'd be
Uh,
offended.
what I have seen a lot of is the kneeling near the table. Have you seen that? Not the
Yeah,
kneel, but the
that can only
slight
work.
squat.
It really depends on the height of the table.
Yeah, you can't kneel at a high
Honestly,
top.
gender dynamics. There's a lot of things that go into whether that works or not.
For sure, yeah. That's a case to case basis, right?
Yeah. Um, my next little vignette took place in my old town of Washington, D.C. I was at the Founding Farmers restaurant, good chain. I believe I ordered the chicken fried steak, personal favorite of mine. And it came with, it came with two sides. I ordered mac and cheese as one side, and the typical side they recommend with it also is green beans. Not a fan of green beans. Honestly, not big on a lot of vegetables just as a side in restaurants. So I decide I'm gonna get sweet potato as my other side. Chicken fried steak, mac and cheese, sweet potato. Because in my mind, the mac and cheese is taking care of most of my side. Honestly, if it was just mac and cheese, I'd be happy with it. But adding a few bites of sweet potato, I'm happy. I had a waiter. I will say that based on his tone of voice and this general manner, I would presume he's a member of the gay community. I don't know that. I can't verify that. I would just say it was my presumption. And I'm giving him my order, and I explained what I want, and I explained that I'm switching out the green beans for the sweet potatoes. And he's standing there, and he's writing it down, and he just goes, "Okay, 2 starches." And I'm sitting there just looking at him, kind of dumbstruck of, oh. He takes my order and he leaves, and I get my food. I don't really have any serious interaction with him after that, but it was just that happened.
2 starches.
And he raised his eyebrows. I swear to God, he goes, 2 starches?
Oh, oh my God.
What would you do in this situation?
I'd just be hurt. I would feel so judged. I'd be like, I just wanted a sweet potato. I'm not a fan of green beans. Oh,
And it really, like, he didn't give me a look or a wink of like, oh, I'm just
that was
playing.
no. That was for him. That reaction, that was for him.
Absolutely for him.
He was thinking.
He was making a verbal, out loud note to himself.
Yeah. He was like, thank God I'm not at this guy's rock bottom. Getting 2 starches. The audacity to get 2 starches. Yeah, and you can't even say anything to that. You can't be like, oh, well, sweet potatoes.
I'm super insulted. It didn't affect his tip. I was just sort of, oh, wow, okay.
I really like carbs. Oh, and the chicken fried steak too. 2 starches and a protein wrapped in starch.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take.
That's hilarious, though. This guy's just. I wonder if he's going around criticizing everybody else's meal.
I have no idea. I think is this his thing? I don't know. Was it just to me? But that happened. It was an incredible thing.
Just like extra gravy. Next table, like hold the veggies.
But it's just like I don't think I went super overboard with my order. Like I don't think I did anything of like that's super noteworthy.
Well, so 2 starches is I try to avoid ordering 2 starches whenever I get to choose 2 sides with a meal, just because it makes me feel a little bit bloated. I do think
the waiter will judge you like mine did verbally.
No, I don't care about. Well, I
never even thought this was an option on the table, but now you're like, oh my God, they can say this?
Yeah. See, I wouldn't care, but I mean, if I had that kind of interaction with a waiter and he did that, I'd be like, I can never get 2 fucking starches again. This guy's right.
You tell him, never mind.
I can't get 2 starches. Extra green beans, please.
Can I just forget the chicken fried steak? Can I just get a small side salad?
Yep, yeah, it's just vinegar, no oil, please. That's great though. That's a awesome human being to just do that. It's a great guy.
Just do that to a stranger.
Yeah, right. And you're just like, okay, yes, these charges.
My third one, which I'll do quickly. This was several years ago during a family summer vacation to Ocean City, Maryland. We were at one of the many seafood restaurants. I can't remember the particulars, but we were going around and the waitress was taking our order. It's a sizable table, at least half a dozen people, and she gets to me, and as I start to my order, I hear an interruption, and it's maybe one table down, a couple just sitting facing each other, beginning a very significant argument. I wish I could remember exact words or give you some quotes, but I can only impart to you that this was not a disagreement. This was what the kind of argument, the tone and body posture of which you would assume is ending a marriage.
Like, was this? Did it seem as though this dinner was happening to have public and neutral ground for this confrontation?
No, it seemed almost spontaneous. They were halfway through the meal. It would seem like their
Oh,
voices were raised. They weren't shouting, but their voices were raised. I could enough that I'm about a table down. I'm in a corner and they're about here, and I can hear them. And I want to hear them because I'm like, what's going on? So as I'm looking at my menu, I stop talking midway through my order, and I'm listening for a few seconds, and I look up, and the waitress has also stopped paying attention to me to listen to the argument. Like, she looks back at me real quick, and we make eye contact, and we both know what we're doing. We've stopped this routine of ordering food to eavesdrop on this other table. Meanwhile, the rest of my family members have taken no notice of this interruption and are just seeing me and the waitress are standing.
having this moment.
I'm sitting, she's standing in front of me, and we've just stopped communicating, but we're not even trying to do anything. We've just both mutually stopped, and they're staring at this, not understanding what's going on. But me and the waitress have made a silent agreement that what's happening on this other table is so much more important than me ordering my dinner. And eventually, what feels like minutes, but was assuredly just seconds pass more. And me and the waitress realize we just got to get back into the rule of things. And we look at each other, and we both start laughing to ourselves because we are now in on this joke that no one seems to be aware of. And we're not going to stop to try to explain the divorce that's about to happen on this other table. So we're just laughing to ourselves, looking like insane people to the rest of my family. And eventually I get my order out, and she goes and takes it, and I can see kind of lingers with her steps as she goes by the other table. And I'm just sitting there trying to, get as much information as I can. And again, I wish I could impart more of exact things were said. I can only express how much this was a middle-aged couple, I would say late 30s, sitting facing each other, voices raised, a lot of contention, what would seem spontaneously halfway through eating their meal. It was definitely not there's going to be a problem tonight. It definitely had the vibe of this is a problem for life.
Oh, do you get are you under the impression, or do you think this was a picture of some boobies came across a phone sort of situation? A stray dick pic leaked onto the home screen, something like that? Or do you think that this was more deep rooted than infidelity?
I would say deep rooted. If it was something like infidelity, there might have been screaming, or one of them could have stood up. They were sitting there arguing with each other back and forth. So I think it would have a long-standing problem.
Oh, yeah, that's even scarier.
Just the fact that I zoned in on it at the same time the waitress did, and we came to that silent agreement, that was something.
Isn't it great that you can have interactions with people and you can take solace in the fact that everybody is a nosy piece of shit?